What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to go over essential tips to starting off in Remnant 2, and these tips can apply to new players upcoming to the franchise or even some returning players from the first game, but let's get right into it. So the first tip I want to go over is pretty self-explanatory, is choosing your starting class. Of course, you want to start off with a class that suits your playstyle. There's many different archetypes later on in the game that you'll see here in a minute, but your starting classes are the Medic, the Hunter, the Challenger, and the Handler. And if you pre-order the game, you will have access to the Gunslinger as a starting class, but you can obtain him later on in the game. Now, you just want to pick your class according to your playstyle. There's tons of different builds and different archetypes that you can mess around with, and also have dual archetypes with. And if you guys want a more in-depth look of the archetypes, I do have a video. I'll put a link up in the cards right now, so that way you guys can take a deeper dive into the starting classes. So the next tip I wanted to go over is do not spend all of your resources. You'll start to notice once you get further and further into your first world, you'll have your starting weapon, and you can dish out some damage, especially if you're starting at a lower difficulty, or even like the slightly more harder difficulty. You'll start to see that your damage will diminish over time. But you can go ahead and upgrade your weapons, which is very essential to do. But there is tons and tons of different weapons that you can obtain, and different melee weapons, sidearms, long guns, and you want to make sure that you want to not pretty much spend all of your scrap and all of your luminite crystals in one sitting. Tinker, and once you find different weapons, try them out, and then if you find a favorite weapon, then go ahead and upgrade that all the way. And to help you find more resources, which goes into my next tip, look everywhere. In the world of Remnant 2, there is a tons of different secrets and stuff to look for. So opening chests, which gives you tons of scrap, relic dust, some iron materials to help you upgrade. There's loot everywhere that you can find. If you see a red spot on your mini-map, go and look for it. There might be a hidden passageway. There might be something hiding in that little corner you don't know about, but definitely it is very worth looking everywhere, because otherwise you'll sell yourself short just by plowing through enemies and getting to one objective to the next. So make sure you take your time and do that as well. And this is a very essential combat tip. You want to find the weak spot on all your enemies. There is a weak spot on every enemy, so go ahead and find that weak spot. It's not always just in the head. Maybe for your basic enemies, it'll be shots to the head. But you can tell by the different damage numbers. So if you're seeing white numbers like you see there, those are your basic damage. If you see yellows, those are your crits. And then if you see red, that is your weak spot damage. And if you also see a enlarged bold red weak spot number, that means you hit a critical weak spot, which does tons of damage to enemies. So make sure you can shoot well and aim well. And I also wanted to give you guys some co-op tips. So when playing with co-op, so these are just kind of some things that we have noticed, especially when I was playing with my buddy Amazing D. We were, going through the campaign together, and some things that we had noticed that probably you guys should know. So starting off, sharing ammo. So if you're noticing, if you're running around, using your guns and stuff like that, you'll notice that maybe somebody's running out of ammo really quickly. It's probably because he's picking up all the red boxes in front of you, but that is not shared. So make sure you communicate with your teammate, so that way you guys can refill on ammo. Another tip is finding items. So if you guys are, let's say you're doing a co-op playthrough like we did, when I went and I found the engineer archetype with the armor set and the device, which I do have a short video of that, which I'll put up right there. And once I got the item, I got it by myself, but once I had him load into the game with me, he was not able to get it. So we had to go into his world and find the engineer archetype in his playthrough. So if you guys plan on doing a co-op playthrough, just keep that in mind. Just stick together. Make sure you guys are both in the same world, same lobby. And then the final co-op tip is there's no shared story progression. So if you are the host, you are doing your progression of the story. If you go back into your buddy's world, he'll still have all the items, and he'll have all the weapons and stuff that you guys have found, but he will not have all of these shared worlds. Just like with your playthrough. So just keep that in mind. So I just wanted to throw that in there for you people that love to play co-op with your buddies and stuff like that. So just keep that in mind. And just a reminder, guys, as we are going through these tips in this video, if you guys want to stay up to date with the latest and greatest games coming out, we provide you with reviews, tips and tricks such as this one, highlights, you name it, we got you covered here at Lost Days Gaming. So drop a like on this video and consider subscribing for more content coming your way. We also live stream here on YouTube every Tuesday and Thursdays, which I usually have them scheduled, so you guys can go and check those out as well. And I also want to invite you to join our Lost Days Gaming community over at Discord, where you can talk about all the latest and greatest games coming out, or team up with a buddy as well. We would love to see our community grow and possibly have our viewers and subscribers play with us on one of our live streams. And the final tip I wanted to share with you guys is replayability in this game is key. You will probably explore maybe 15 to 20% of what Remnant 2 has to offer if you're doing just a single campaign playthrough, and you will not do yourself justice by doing that. So once you complete your first world by completing the first world boss, you will unlock adventure mode. And what you can do in adventure mode is keep re-rolling different checkpoints, and you'll end up in different areas, different dungeons, maybe encountering different enemies, and of course there's tons of different bosses as well. And then of course by doing that you'll unlock different weapon mods and different boss weapons and stuff like that. So replayability is key in this game, and that's what's going to help you progress further and help you out in those higher difficulties. And there you have it, folks. These are our essential tips starting off at Remnant 2 from Lost Days Gaming. This video took quite a bit to record, so if you guys found this helpful, drop a like and subscribe for more content coming your way. I'll catch y'all in the next video. Deuces.